Hello and welcome to another Solo Leveling Arise video. Today I'll be covering the patch notes that we are going to be seeing for the update that we have happening today on August 22nd/21st, depending on where you live. So I'll just go over here on the notes. The brief overview that we were given is going to be the maintenance, which is on right now. It's just going to be ending at 6 o'clock UTC 0. So that's around 10 o'clock my time for Pacific time. Actually, no, wait. It's 11. It's 11 o'clock my time. My bad. So here we go. We have an addition of the guild system, which we've all been waiting for. This is great. The addition of Sung Jin Woo's new job change. Hopefully, we should be seeing a new skill and maybe a new ultimate with that one. So I'm excited for that. The addition of the new Hunter, SSR, Hansemi, and Gogun He, and the exclusive weapon. I do believe Gogun He isn't coming out right away, but according to this, it looks like it is. We'll see once the patch hits. The addition of new Sung Jin Woo's weapon. I think that's two weapons. We have the true Demon Knight Spear, and we have the Dark Spear. I forget the name of it, but starts with a Z, if I recall. Then we have the addition of new costumes. There are multiple costumes that are going to be coming out, especially we have two hunters coming out. I believe we do also have the Alicia chroma, the Emma chroma coming out as well. I think one more. But yeah, there also will be secret library stuff, as you see here, and new hunter archive. They have a new skill rune and new blessing stones. They have an SR weapon exclusive weapon. I'm not sure what those are. I haven't seen anything on that yet that they're adding. The addition of new reverse story chapters. Those are going to be really tough for people. For most people. Addition of new events. There's quite a few new events that I saw coming up. There's quite a few. From watching the Japanese live stream. There's like at least 3 that I saw coming up, maybe 4. Adjustment on Sung Jin Woo's weapons and hunter balance. We'll be covering that a bit later. Other content improvement and changes. So we'll be getting compensation, new packages, of course, and bug fixes. We'll be getting new packages. Maintenance here. Essence Stones 500, 2 Gate Keys, and Weapon Enhancement Year 2s. We're seeing all these contents end. Bonus tabs getting reset. See who gets added to that, and then everything here is just normal notes. So now we'll cover the more specifics that they release, which will be the adjustments that they're doing to the blessing stones and hunters. So for Bake Yunho, that's light bake here, they made it so that they added an additional 2.5% damage decrease effect on the White Flames effect. So that is going to be 22.5%, which is a pretty big amount. I think for hunters, that's going to be the highest defense down that you can get as a main defense down. This will still stack with Choi's defense down from his weapon, but not Choi's QTE. Added super armor when unlock White Flames effect is active. I guess so. Yeah, that one's really good, actually, because that's when the White Flames is building up. That's really when he needed. I think this is a really good improvement to him. It has been countless times where he's in the middle of doing his really long animations. He just gets hit out of the air, and it's just, you lose everything. For the Truth White Flames Strike, which is going to be his ultimate, improved to not use the granted White Flames when dealing violent explosive damage after using True White Flame Strike. I'll have to look into that a bit more. I don't play him that often, so I'll have to look into that one. See how much that has changed actually. So now we have the Silvermane Bake Yunho, or Dark Bake, as I call him. They made it so that his damage is increased when he hits a target that has bleed or the Curse of Magic Beast effect from 20% to 40%. That's quite a big jump. When the user uses Extreme Attack Beast Form, that's his buff, it increases their critical hit rate and critical hit damage rate by 3% every 1 second for 12 seconds. It was 10 seconds before. So you do get 2 extra seconds of that. And when the user uses the Extreme Attack Beast Form, they take damage equal to 10% of their current HP, but they gain a shield equal to 20% of their max HP. That's actually quite large, because like if you're at a low amount of HP, say you have like, I don't know, 2000 HP, and your max HP is, I don't know, like 20,000, you would basically spend 200 in order to get 4,000 shields. And shields don't run out, as far as I've seen. They're not really timed in this, so that's a lot of survivability, actually. Moving on to the last part. This ignores the user's shield effect and deals damage to the user. Okay, so even if you have a shield on, it's still going to take from your HP pool, is basically that part. That's a nice improvement, honestly, to him. Advancement tier 3 here. Beginning part is the same. Actually, remove the existing skill damage. Sorry, my bad. It removes the existing skill damage, increase effect applied to the passive details, and apply new effect below. Wait. Remove the existing skill damage effect increase. That's not good. And apply the new effect below. The skill damage increase was nice. Okay. The user starts the battle with their HP reduced by 50%. And then also they get a 50% shield. So it's basically just starting him off with a lower amount of HP, but he still has the same amount of HP, or rather, I guess, amount before he dies. So it's not bad. That's actually gets him ramped up quicker, so you can actually don't have to like take hits or take a longer time in order for your damage to get upped. Here we have the Extreme Attack Beast Form, now consumes less mana. User's basic attack and attack speed by 30%. I don't see the difference between increases the user's basic attack damage and attack speed by 30%. That's I might be missing something there. Increased damage taken by 15%, that hasn't changed. And removes the continuous amount of damage that he'll be taking. He still takes damage, obviously, when he does this, because it is the switch out for 10% for 20%. Shield, and then of course the duration increase, which I covered earlier. Magic Beast Claw's damage. So his normal attack now recharges his core attack after 4 basic attacks. So basically, they're taking a lot of his skill attack damage away, and then just making him a left clicker. I think that this is really good if you give him, like, I would say the outstanding ability is probably the best set on him at this point. I mean, or actually, no, you can go Berserker. Berserker's actually still 30%. That one's still better than outstanding ability. But I wonder why they kind of this makes me feel like outstanding ability is good, because they basically take away everything away from his mana consumption or the want to use mana, and then they put it into normal attacks, which is kind of like he never had a mana issue in the first place ever. So that's kind of interesting that they did this reduction here. When you do, or for his weapon, if the target is immune to bleed, it deals damage equal to scaling up an attack 25%. That's actually a lot. 2.5 at A0, then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Normally the base without an advancement is the highest increase, and then everything else is like half the amount across like all SSR weapons. But this one actually increases by a lot. It goes up by the same amount for A1, and then each one is twice the amount. I'm just trying to think if his max damage or max HP is 30,000, and then you're dealing 25% of 30,000. It's really not a lot of damage. I don't know if that gets multiplied based off anything, but that's kind of not a lot. 30,000 damage is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. Or 6,000, 25% of that is going to be what, 7.5 thousand. That's not a lot. Sung Jin Woo's balance. Only items with adjustments are separated as before and after. The damage dealt value without any indication value, as the level is based on the minimum level. Okay. Alright, that's basically just saying this is based off of if you don't have this advanced up to level 10 skill. So they have this going up by 105%. That's actually quite a big jump up for this weapon, but the weapon's really slow. I don't know if I'd still use it at all for the Vulcan's Rage. They did make it so when the duration ends, the effect is removed for concentration. Yeah, it's the same thing. It explodes once the shield runs out, but the damage is increased to 400% rather than 300%. So this will stack up. That's basically 2,000% more if it stacks up 20 times. That's a large amount. It'll be nice to see if this is viable. But I still don't think so. The weapon's very clunky. When it explodes, it deals additional 20% damage per instance of concentration rather than 15, so an extra 5% there. That's quite a lot. I guess actually it's the 5% is only multiplying by that. That's kind of weird that they don't just put this into this amount. I don't understand why they did this as two separate things when this only works with this. That's pretty much it. Then we have when concentration is at 20 instances, Vulcan's Blessing instantly explodes and creates a shield equal to 10% of the user's attack. That's pretty nice. I like that a lot. Rather than having to wait for it to get up there. The only thing I don't like about this is that you get an attack buff at A3. I think it's A3. When you do have this on, attack speed and attack damage buff. And if this removes it, I mean the shield is infinite, but if this gets removed once this explodes, that kind of sucks because it means you can't use it to buff other weapons. While shield is in effect, the damage of Fire of Destruction increases by 50%. Okay, that's not bad. Alright. Then we have... Alright, and then... Sorry. We got the Thetis Grimoire. We got damage buff like that for the normal attacks. That's not really a thing that people care about. The core attack hits quite hard, but this isn't really that big of a deal. Scotty at A0. We got base damage increases by quite a lot. This actually more than double. Almost double. That's a big increase. Deals damage equal to 200% of the user's attack to targets with the Sky's Curse effect, so that went up by double. And then deals damage equal to 1000% of the user's attack to targets with Scotty's Curse effect. That's when he snaps. That's a pretty big amount. That's not bad. Basically the second use of the skill is what that's going to be buffing by quite a bit. Finally, we have yet another buff to the SSR Demon King's Longsword. It looks like a substantial buff, as this is more than double. This is more than double, or no, just shy of double, and this is almost double of what it was. Creates lightning that deals damage equal to 120% rather than 90%. So just straight damage buffs across the way. Still not a good weapon in my opinion, just because of how it functions. You can't burst with it when you shadow step. So I don't think this is going to make people use it more. I definitely won't be. Then we have the Huntsman. Increases the damage. This, again, substantial buffs. Oh, this is really big. You deal weak break damage when you attack. This is actually really good. This is actually very good. I think that this, especially for BOT, I would say that this is a viable weapon for this BOT. Just because you could run the greed set, and every single attack that you do will get your greed set built up. So you can get the greed set to 10 stacks quite quickly using this, so that's not bad. It's pretty good. Time to hunt at A0. The core attack is increased by 100% rather than 60%. That's pretty nice. After judgment time hits, if a core attack is the next attack and it hits, it inflicts judgment overture to the target. At 3 instances of judgment overture, it changes to 1 instance of destroy up to 1 time. Destroy is the infinite stacking buff. For this weapon, it just seems like if you have to use the skill 3 times in order to get 1 instance of it, it's kind of still bad. So, I mean, this is a small buff, but like you have to use 3 weapon skills followed by core attack in order to get this 1 instance of destroy. That's not great. They buffed the base damage to demonic plum flower sword. I mean, it's good. That's actually good. I mean, it's extra damage. It's free damage. That's fine. Here they're buffing the basic attacks of Shadow Scythe, which is still very clunky. They'd improved that attack by quite a bit, which is good. Lastly, it looks like here we have Moon Shadow for weapon changes. They increased the attack by 100% on basically on this 102%, 93% on this one, and then 92% on this one. That's actually really good because I hate doing normal attacks with this weapon. They have been very weak and they are kind of clunky looking. Not clunky, but they don't come out fast. Not like Plum or yeah, not like Plum. Then we have this change here. It now increases the users and their team members' damage by 15% while the slow effect is active. So this is huge, actually. We're going to see a lot of POD time damages go up a lot because this is a very much used weapon in that I actually will probably also be using this weapon on Fachna, the guild boss coming out. So increasing 9 of my team members' attack damage by 15% every single time I use this weapon or a shadow step is quite big. So this will be very nice. This is a big buff. Here we have now the rune skill balance adjustments. They have vital strike changes. Decimate, it's not really used, so it doesn't matter how much you buff it. Honen is very much used. It has potential to be used a lot. It's kind of a bit weird of an attack, and very close range, but the damage increase on this does scale because this is the one that increases damage based off of you attacking an elite or a boss monster. So this is a big increase, even though it doesn't look like a lot here. It's only 150%, 147%, but it'll be a lot. This will be a lot. On point, again, the damage on these ones aren't really the focus on it, so it's not really a big thing here. For Mutilate, we have Phantom increasing its damage. This is the double use one, and then we have Strike, which is I think that's the defense down one or the attack increase one. Either way, this one's not used, so don't have to worry about that one. This one, I don't think this will beat. Was it Stroke of Lightning, the dark version of it? So this is nice. I do like the skill, but the increase that they also did on it is quite low. So 27%. So I don't think any of these are going to make any difference in how people use them. Next we have Dagger Toss. We have Detonation. Damage per dagger has increased to 82%. I think that throws out like 8 or 9 daggers. It throws out a lot. I'm a really big fan. If you kind of shotgun something by being up close, it does quite a bit of damage, and it also puts a DOT on the enemy. I will probably this is one weapon one skill I will try out on Fachna just because it does scale fast if you do hit them with all the daggers. Here, and then we have Ascension, which is I believe the one that does more damage based if they are broken, but neither one of these two are used. Neither of these are used, so not really caring about that too much. Only the fire one I'll be trying out. It's kind of a niche thing. Double Slash, no one uses any of these skills. No one uses any of these skills for any of their damage. You can increase them up another 400%, and they probably still won't be used. Cutting Rush, Annihilation. I forget which one this is, but any damage to any of the Cutting Rushes is pretty much good, because they are used in different situations. So this is always a good. This is 142% buff base off of the legendary version, so that's a lot. It's a pretty good amount. Vertical Arts Reap, this is going to be the Dark Vertical Arts, which you counter, and it gives you a Shadow Step, and you also get a Shadow Step refresh and a shield. They're increasing the damage this one by 73% off the legendary one. It's not a bad increase. It really didn't do hardly any damage at all. So if it starts to do damage, it actually will be better. I don't know how viable it will be, but if we see good damage from it, this skill is probably one of the best utility skills in the game, especially if you're running Moonshadow. I can picture this with using this with the Moonshadow now for the 15% damage increase for all of your hunters every single time you slow. It really scales out of control. Next we have Multi-Strike, Percussion, no one uses, and Pummel, which is the light one, no one really uses. You can increase their damage by a ton. They're kind of still very clunky attacks, so not really much change there. Commander's Touch, Finisher, I believe, which is the defense down, and Liberation, which is the attack increase, are now doing more. I'm sorry, other way around. I'm pretty sure that Finisher is the attack increase one, and Liberation is the defense down one. These aren't really used either. The only two that are really used of Commander's Touch is Black Hole and Absorption, so this isn't a big increase. Crushing Blow, no one uses these. The Fire one can be used, but I don't think that's either of those. Next we have the Blessing Stone balance adjustments. We have Boss Slayer. We have basically negative effects on these three skills. They said that they're going to be reducing. So this one reduces it so that your dash cooldown only gets slowed down by 20%. This is good, but it's still really bad if you're using if you're using Plum Blossom, because you do need as many dashes as you can. Then we have Double Edge. It's now increasing the enemy's attack damage by 3% instead of 4%. So we'll be buffing the enemy for only 12% instead of 16% damage. And then the Mana Rampage is reducing the MP consumption to 12% instead of 16%. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, it's nice. It might be more usable in more situations now. Burning Curse. The 4-piece bonus used to just have the HP added onto it, and then would have the base of the 10% increased damage scaling to 20% after 1 minute and 40 seconds. But now it has changed it so that you get 20% off the start, and it will go up to 30% after 1 minute and 40 seconds. So that's really, really good. This probably is going to be the best set in the game to run with Expert for anything that is over 1 minute long fight. I would be using 4-piece Curse and 4-piece Expert. As for on the right side, how I would use this, I guess Warmonger would be the go-to for it. But it really depends on how long the fight is, because if the fight is... It basically would be this or Outstanding Ability. But yeah, it's still usable, actually. If you do burn through mana quite quickly, then it would be better than the Outstanding Ability, and if it is longer than 50 seconds long, then it will start to do more damage than Outstanding Ability. You have the 8-piece changes, which basically says that you can't activate the 4-piece while the 8-piece is in effect. That's the only change there. And then Burning Blessing, it looks like they just made it so this activates now when you use an ultimate skill. So this is actually a huge change. Two-word change made this actually change quite a bit. You wouldn't ever use this this combo whenever you were doing anything with hunters that were they're out like POD or BOC and now Guild Boss. You wouldn't ever use this because you couldn't ever activate it, but now you can. So this is very good, especially with hunters that buff your damage with their ultimates. So it's a nice increase, I would say. Now it's really going to make you burst a lot more than before. Only items adjustments that are separated before and after. Okay, so those are all the changes that they have marked down. I'm really excited for this. I do want to be I'm definitely going to look at the Burning Curse set. That's definitely something that's going to change my setups. The Burning Blessing, that's definitely going to change my setups quite a bit. The Boss Slayer, I really don't see myself using this as much, but I'll give it a try. At 20% still quite big. Changes up here. Really nothing to the skill changes are going to change much. The Moon Shadow is going to make me use it more. That's fantastic buff that they have there. The Huntsman, this has to be tested. This part with the greed set will have to be tested. That actually is quite nice, and with this it might be quite nice. So we'll see how that goes. Demon King Longsword, no. Scotty, no. Thetis, no. Phoenix Soul. Oh, I think I missed this one. Damage increase based on the base attacks is nice. This is whenever the basic attack hits 3 times, it inflicts Fireboard Soul. That's nice. If you were missing with the third attack, or you were just doing like one quick attack, one quick attack, one quick attack, then now you can get the Firebird Soul effect, and that increases damage by 80% now rather than 70%. And then lastly here, the advancement tier 1 that now adds when the flame shot hits, fills the user's core gauge by 50%. That's nice. It's a nice increase for the lower advancements rather than A5 being like the one-all for that weapon. Vulcan's Rage buff, again, even though this is really nice increases, I don't think it's going to be enough for me to sway me to work on that weapon over another one. Silvermane buffs, this is quite big. His damage will have to be tested again. And he's also switching over from basically no skill damage increasers to now just damage based off of this. So it'll be nice to see how this goes. Baek Yunho, this one's really nice. Honestly, the super armor I think is the best part of this. And then of course the Truth White Flame Strike has to be tested as well. And that's pretty much it. So once again, I hope you guys found this video useful. And I'll see you guys in the next video.